Here are my top 10 agencies to start in 2025. I was only going to do 5, and then the ideas just kept on flowing. Now, if you saw my last video, you would have seen me share how starting a service business is my #1 recommendation to anyone looking to escape the 9 to 5 or generally just build a better life for themselves. Now, YouTube normally rewards me for saying how to get rich in 2025, but in this case, I really want to say to live freely. But I think getting rich is a very loaded term. Most of us, what truly motivates us is we just want to live freely. We don't mind doing a couple of hours work a day. And that's the key thing. This is why more people don't start agencies, is they're so focused on passive income that doesn't really exist, when really you don't need to work that hard in order to build a service business that actually delivers a lot of value and therefore brings you a lot of wealth, both material and time-wise. More time and freedom to do as you please. In my case, when I was in the 9 to 5, constantly hustling away trying to escape, my motivations were really quite simple. I am not a morning person, so I didn't want to have to drag myself out of bed every day to get into an office before 9. I really struggle in winter, so I wanted the freedom to be able to travel to hotter climates when winter was getting to me, and I'm aware that family is getting older. I want the freedom and ability to spend more time with them while I can. There's some sort of shocking statistic that once you leave home, you've then had 99% of all the time you're going to spend with your parents. So an agency is the easiest way to achieve just that, because even if you're not an expert, you just need to master a small niche skill that has value, some kind of process. Master it doesn't take long, and then build a team, build those processes, and then you're 80% of the way there. Many people struggle with getting clients, but the fact is you don't need a whole lot of clients in order to replace that day job income. But of course there are plenty of ways, like cold email. I'm not a master of that, but I've done very well, as you know, with organic YouTube. That's been very easy. And more recently, getting onto Facebook ads. Facebook ads is just on easy mode at the moment. If you've got a high value service offering, then it's very likely you're going to end up with a positive outcome. I can't say the same for low ticket e-com and courses, but for a service business where you're probably going to make more than $20,000 to $30,000 per client, it's very unlikely you're going to lose money with Facebook ads. And all this I'm going to be teaching in my agency training. I know every guru is telling you to start a social media agency who probably hasn't actually done it themselves, whereas I've got plenty of receipts here to prove I have. In this course, I'll take you through every step of where I was struggling in the beginning, still doing $5,000 to $10,000 per month, and got to that $10,000 per month within 6 months of starting the agency. Then how it stagnated and how I was struggling with lead gen, to ultimately then how I was adding significant numbers every single month. So this is all from the horse's mouth. I'm not going to teach you anything I haven't already done myself. So there's going to be a lot of value in this course, but if you sign up on the pre-launch list, basically to validate that people actually want this, so that I don't lose you as soon as you've just watched this video, then when the course launches, I'm going to be offering a limited number of places absolutely free. So sign up on the form, click the link below, and then once everything's ready to go, I'll send you a warning that the course is about to go live. Keep an eye on your inbox, because some places are going to be available for free. But what are you actually going to sell? Because obviously I'm going to teach you about SEO agencies, but there are plenty of other agency options out there, some of which have probably got a bigger future with the rise of AI. And while I think there's still plenty of opportunity in SEO, you might want to skew your offer slightly, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video today. So, perfect example with our first agency for 2025, CTR Manipulation. Now, loads of people think I'm going to start an SEO agency, often with no experience. I've certainly met so many entrepreneurs who are in all kinds of different niches now, but many of them started off with SEO agencies back in the day when SEO was really easy and you just put keywords on the page and you ranked in Google. It wasn't a high barrier to entry. But of course, anyone who's tried this knows pretty much every business owner gets obliterated all day with emails saying, I guarantee you page 1 rankings on Google. So SEO has inherited a really bad name, and a lot of the time, rightly so. So what I really encourage people to do is dig down into more niche offerings within that. It can still be an SEO service, but you really want to focus on a particular product. And in particular, when we talk about agencies, I really recommend productized services, where the traditional agency does a bit of everything for everyone. And the issue with that is you can really lose a lot of margin. You end up doing a bit of web development, a bit of paid ads, a bit of SEO, and it all gets very messy and difficult to scale. So the smarter approach is productized services, where you're just really clear that this is the one thing we offer. So a few years ago, link building agencies were really popular. And that's exactly when I started mine. Now, since then, we've grown to be a bit more of a 360 SEO agency, but that was only after making a dent with that productized offering, because then you're into kind of more of an e-com direction, where rather than trying to sell this client on this very vague concept that we're going to take over your marketing for you. It's much more about the outcome. We're going to provide you with this specific thing that you need, and here's why you need it. So link building is still a good option, but it's got a lot more difficult over the last few months. Because of recent Google updates, so many content-based websites have lost all their rankings, and it was those content-based websites where the vast majority of us were pitching for links. So it still works, but it's a lot more difficult than it used to be. But where I am seeing a lot of opportunity is CTR manipulation, where you use software that basically uses bots on unique IP addresses to search your keyword and click on your result. And this was basically confirmed in the Google data leak last year, where SEOs have been pretty sure this is the thing for years, because if you've got all this data as Google, why wouldn't you use it? If users are responding favorably to a certain website and not another, then why wouldn't you promote that website? If someone is searching a keyword and they're spending a lot of time on number 3 result, but they're immediately clicking the back button on number 2 result, then surely the number 3 result should come up one. So this is just basic user engagement signals, and that can be artificially inflated. And this is particularly powerful with Google Maps, and generally it's agreed that local SEO is probably going to be the longest lived form of SEO. It looks unlikely that searching for a local contractor or a local service using Google is going to change in the near future. So those map rankings are highly influenced by CTR manipulation, especially using branded searches. And yet very few agencies seem to be doing this. So we do it a small amount. If I open Stripe, I put in a few filters here. So we're looking at the last couple of months, and this is exclusively CTR manipulation clients. So the great thing about it is it's not an expensive service, because of course we're only sending you clicks. It'd be wrong of us to charge thousands of dollars for that. But therefore it's a lot more accessible to a wider number of people, so lots of smaller local businesses, but we're easily making a few $1,000s per month just from selling clicks. And the reason I say the scales so well is the software and the knowledge to use that software is quite difficult. It costs a few $100s to set up. You need a virtual private server, you need to set it up correctly. I tell you everything about how to do this in my CTR manipulation course, which you'll find in the description below. But the fact is, it's a lot of work and money to get this set up once. But once you've got it set up, you can use it again and again. You can run a lot of campaigns on one machine. So that's why as soon as I started doing CTR manipulation, soon enough I got other people saying, can you do it for me? And sure enough, that's how the service was born. So I'd be willing to bet if you pitch the offer correctly and you cold emailed a load of local businesses explaining this recent Google data leak and how it's proven that these user experience signals can lead to better rankings and therefore better sales for you, and that we have a way in order to influence those user signals by using bots with unique IP addresses that look like 4G mobile traffic, and all it's going to cost to them to find out if it works or not and how much of a difference it can make to their business is somewhere between $97 and $197 per month, then I would say that's a no-brainer. And the great thing for you is it's high margin. You've already got the tools. There's an overhead cost, but it's not going to cost you significantly more to run 10 campaigns than just one campaign. Whereas with my link building agency, the cost of link building have just gone up and up over the last couple of years. So the margins in link building are not what they used to be. So that's one very specific SEO focused offer. But on that subject of offers, let's step out a bit and just talk about offer creation and structuring. I would say one of the biggest levers you can pull that takes a long time to actually master is how you actually present, pitch and sell your offers. And this is a struggle for entrepreneurs, local businesses, where you'll see so many business websites where it says, here's what we do you want it or not? And that's extremely limiting. I wanted to mention about paid ads agencies in this video because there's been this argument that paid ads agencies are going to die out because the ad platforms have got so smart. But I actually think the reverse is true, certainly for the foreseeable, where most business owners are not going to take action on those advantages. Whereas there's going to be a big opportunity for paid ads agencies to basically sell the dream to the business owner, delegate a lot of the machine learning to the AI, and then just charge a margin on top. But the limitation of that is that it doesn't matter how much traffic you get, how much you promote, if your offer isn't dialed in, then it's never going to convert. And so whether you're doing Facebook ads or Google ads, it's really not about keywords or targeting, anything like that. It's far more about how you actually pitch what you offer, why your client should buy it. And in particular, certainly in the info marketing space, a lot of the margin is actually made in order bumps, that little checkbox on the sales page where you get a little extra for a little bit more, and upsells. And this is just buyer psychology. Because if you're spending $500 on a product, then suddenly that $200 upsell seems really small in comparison. So that's a very easy way to print a lot more money. Some people talk about Rolls-Royce, how Rolls-Royce stopped showing off and exhibiting at car shows and instead started exhibiting at super yacht shows, because a Rolls-Royce is a bargain compared to a super yacht. So how would I actually go about this? Well, there's loads of gurus out there on funnels and offer creation, Definitely read Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers, but frankly the AIs, especially Claude Sonnet, have got really good at this. So you can look at copywriting, you can look at pricing dynamics. How can you make it so that your local plumber that's only got 50 words on his website actually becomes this much more tantalizing, more compelling offer of, have you got an emergency? I'll come over, and I don't know, maybe your emergency repair is free if you then decide to upgrade your boiler at the time. That's not the best example, but if you look at influencers, YouTubers, how many people have built a massive audience that they're struggling to monetize? There's so many of these people who are just reliant on ad networks, banner ads and YouTube ads to make an income, and they really don't make any money. Whereas you can come in and help them craft an info product, a coaching, teach them how to actually sell it. So promoting their videos to an email list, build that email list, and then deliver loads of products to that email list. This is stuff that no one gets taught in school, but once you've done it once, it becomes much easier to master, and then you can install that same system and process in every single client. Local SEO and CTR manipulation, I've seen some people talking about these sort of no-brainer guarantees, where for certain clients, if you think they're very likely to succeed using a basic amount of CTR manipulation and citations, things like that, you can basically say, we will get you in the top of the map pack within 3 months, or you don't pay. Now, what you've got to do is some careful math there in order to work out, even if you fail so many times, are the 1 or 2 successes enough to justify that? And you're going to sell far more as a result. It's just like money-back guarantees. I know direct response copywriters who have worked in info products, supplements, and they always say the same thing, that if you offer a money-back guarantee within 30 days, you'll sell 10 times more product and yet maybe double your returns. And that's absolutely worth it. So a lot of these really are just business fundamentals that do take a while to master, but when you get it, you get it. And then you can reach out to all these business owners and basically say, your funnel's terrible, I know exactly what to do, run it through Claude, use your own custom scripts and GPTs, tell them to go with this pricing structure, these order bumps, these extra offers, and this sales page, and then you're done. Instant turnaround. If you then want to sell managed ads on top of that, then they're going to think you're a rock star because you've then improved their offer anyway, and you're pouring fuel on the fire by delivering more traffic. So they are going to be very grateful to you. Next, LinkedIn video and newsletters. So LinkedIn has just brought out its Shorts feed. It's been a very slow rollout and actually quite complicated in terms of how it works. I myself have to keep researching how to do it because I'm doing so much video content anyway. And the video I watched this morning said you've got to upload your video, and it's kind of luck of the draw as to whether it goes into the Shorts feed or not. But the fact is, this is a wide open opportunity because it's one of these new social networks where when something first comes out, it's really easy, you get lots of reach, and it tends to be down the line that these things close off. So think about TikTok a few years ago. So LinkedIn is exactly that. They're going to be putting a lot of resources into promoting everyone who's on the Shorts feed. And crucially, these are going to be good business contacts rather than just TikTok, which doesn't really convert for a lot of products. These are going to be high value B2B prospects. So every consultant, agency, B2B business is going to be very interested in blowing up on LinkedIn. Plus LinkedIn is also investing heavily in its newsletters, where there are these automations where as soon as you connect with someone, you get added to their newsletter. And again, that's a native function within LinkedIn where they're really keen to push it to build the engagement and duration that you actually spend on LinkedIn. So that's a really good way to build a strong captive audience. So again, as an agency owner assisted with AI, I think you could very easily reach out to brands, say, we'll do you LinkedIn Shorts, we'll manage it for you, and maybe at the same time, we'll build your LinkedIn newsletter, manage it for you, and then integrate that with your existing funnel. Next one is remote hiring. This has been around for a long time. Hiring agencies seem to make a lot of money. And why not? There's still all these companies in major cities that still believe that to get the top talent, you have to recruit locally. But of course, post-pandemic, the opportunity for remote work and the acceptance of remote working has grown substantially. But most of these big businesses still don't understand that you can get really good talent in the Philippines, South Africa. So again, you've got this big value divide where you can basically pitch a lot of these businesses, probably at the more SME end of the market, saying, you're looking for this $5,000 to $10,000 a month New Yorker to do this role for you. Don't you realize you can get someone in South Africa to do this for you for $2,000 per month? Now, of course, hiring is a pain in the ass. Most of us don't want to do it, but ultimately it comes down to a funnel. If you've got a system in place, it becomes very easy to scale that out to multiple clients. I'm going through that exactly at the moment, where I've got my job post on Indeed. My Facebook ads are working really well. So I'm looking for a sales and account manager. We're targeting South Africa. I've had 110 applicants. Now, most businesses would then go through each of those CVs manually. I've got a better process, which I teach in my agency training on how to recruit A-player staff, where you basically create a funnel, just like a sales funnel, that's all about qualifying the best candidates. And ultimately, all those responses go into a spreadsheet, doesn't matter what platform they've applied on. And you saw there, more than 100 applicants. How many people have actually filled in the form? Well, it's only 7 people. So already you've qualified the best 7 candidates out of more than 100. And then within that form, we ask for a video. Of those, only 2 people have actually completed the video and they've submitted a Google Drive link. Everyone else, where do I share the video? Yes, I am willing to share a video. Where can I upload the video? Is that someone you want to hire? Probably not. So again, it's just systems. No one teaches this in school. So it doesn't matter what business you're actually reaching out to, there's a good chance that they're underutilizing remote workers, and their hiring funnel probably doesn't really allow them to effectively recruit remote workers without a lot of hassle. And of course, once you've got those processes in place, as all these new AI agents come out, the chances are your process is only going to improve with those AI agents. Meanwhile, the businesses you're serving, they're busy with their own operations, customer fulfillment. They're probably not even going to be aware of the AI agents coming out, never mind your process to actually apply them to. Next, digital PR goes without saying. It's probably about time we had an SEO focused one. The next big SEO battle is ranking in AI searches, and it seems like links and media placements and brand are still going to be a key part of that. But like we've said, loads of content websites have lost a lot of their Google traffic, so a lot of traditional outreach link building is much harder than it used to be. So the real trend at the moment is digital PR. You just need to source quality research and information, conduct some polls and surveys, pitch that out to journalists, and there's a strong chance of getting some decent editorial placements that way. Now, this is probably something that's going to benefit from AI, because with things like Perplexity, etc., it's becoming much easier to source all of that quality information. Then, as mentioned previously, local SEO, don't really think that's going away anytime soon. The local map pack is actually a really good product, user-friendly experience. I would say this is more of a lower ticket volume play. So I've consulted for agencies that actually have really high margins because they'll get these local clients, tie them in for 2 or 3 grand per year. They'll build them a website, so there's an element of tying them in that way. And then they include the ads and the SEO as part of that package. And of course, for most niches, local SEO is not that competitive. And that particular agency were really selective about who they actually took on, knowing that they could get them results. So of course, at the end of that 12-month cycle, it's going to be another 2 or 3 grand to renew for the next year, or you can go away and have to rebuild your website, rebuild your SEO, etc. So of course, 95% of those clients were renewing. And as mentioned, it's not rocket science. You just need to get good with the Google Business Profile. CTR Manipulation works really well. Citations work really well. And some sort of system for gathering and maintaining reviews. So using QR codes, NFC chips, making sure that every single customer actually leaves a Google review, and then making sure you've got a process for responding to each of those reviews. If you do all of that, it's very likely that you'll rank well with local SEO. Then of course we have AI agents. This is no big secret. Everyone wants to start an AI automation agency right now, and why not? Because every industry is having to really scratch its heads at the moment thinking, we've got all these little tasks that we're doing. There's got to be an easier way of tying together all these APIs and agents so that these processes just happen automatically. And so far, a lot of the people doing it find it blows up very quickly, but inevitably, some of those are going to succeed. So if you get really good at creating those automations, then of course there's no reason you can't roll that out further. Either going into an organization and building each automation that they actually need from scratch, or simply building an automation that has a good universal appeal for a market, and then simply selling that template again and again to everyone in that market. At the moment, I think the big one is chatbots, but soon we're going to be able to go so much further in terms of when this email comes in. Let's talk about something like real estate or mortgages. So a lead comes in, but then you're actually able to qualify, get an estimate, take its requirements and apply those requirements, then present them with a filtered list of potential products. We're going to be able to take this so much further than simply this back and forth. Next one, video editing. It's an old one, but even though the video editing is easier than ever with CapCut, Descript, fact is everyone's trying to move into video, whether it's faceless or human, and we need video editors. And this is one of those classic agency models where you can get really good at it yourself, come up with the SOP, and then hand that SOP over to a team so you don't have to do all the day-to-day operation. So it should be nice and simple. Get clients on board, have a variety of pricing packages starting from, say, 5 videos a month, and that's maybe $2,000, something like that. And then that leads me on to what I would call real YouTube production, where so many people want to get on YouTube, especially brands. YouTube is now basically its own TV channel, if you like. So many of us will just turn on the TV and put on YouTube, and that's instead of watching Net. And while faceless videos, like using tools like HeyGen and InVideo, they've got very popular, I think there's also a big market for real YouTube production. So can you recruit some hired actors around the world who have got a simple home recording setup, so you can then work with the client to come up with the scripts. You're able to master the scripts that work in terms of the hook, the engagement, crafting videos in such a way to maximize retention and maximize views and rankings, plus including that call to action. So going back to what we said about offer creation, you can have some involvement in actually creating a funnel off the back end of those videos, so that for every 10 views, 10% of those then join the email list, who will then ultimately go on to buy something, and then get the script signed off from that client. That then goes to one of your hired actors around the world, and they're able to present that script cleanly through an auto cue. You can then upload it and manage the channel. And loads of options for upsells there in terms of paid ads, email marketing, etc. All which again can be automated. And then just one final one, AI search. No one has got the clear SOP yet on how to rank on ChatGPT and similar tools, but the early signs are there. It does look very much about brand and distribution, or in other words, backlinks. You just want to get mentions all over the internet that your brand is the best solution for this problem. Your brand provides this product. And then inevitably, when someone uses an AI search in the future and searches to solve this problem or searches for that product, then all that training data has seen that your brand is the ultimate solution and responds, this brand provides this product that solves this solution. So it's early days yet, but I don't think we're a long way off from getting that SOP sorted. And already we can see a lot of SEO agencies are starting to pivot, starting to see the Facebook ads saying, we will rank you on ChatGPT, which is a little bit sketchy. I think there's a reasonable chance that if you do SEO well, then you will rank on ChatGPT, but it's probably a bit early to be offering that as a real promise so far. But sure enough, we will get better at it. We'll be able to identify the patterns, the consistencies, and then yes, you'll be able to have a very successful campaign saying, we know how to rank you in AI search. So whichever one of these options or other options you want to go for, it basically comes down to mastering the process, coming up with that particular workflow. It doesn't have to be rocket science. It just has to be a good, repeatable system. You can recruit the right talent using a good hiring funnel in order to find the right talent for the right price, who are going to be proactive. They're not just a cog in machine. They're actually going to be A players who are able to think dynamically and actually improve your agency over time and be customer facing. And when you've got that whole system in place, you basically just become the salesman. So you could be getting on YouTube organic, you could be running Facebook ads, but the chances are if you're offering enough value, then there's a very good chance that whatever your cost of acquisition per client is, the ultimate payoff from that client is going to be significant and worthwhile. So click the link below, sign up for my agency training. Everything I mentioned there is going to be included. And like I say, if you're on the list, you'll have the opportunity to win one of the free places. And even if you miss out on the free places, you're going to get the earliest, best price before the price goes up.